Hi, this is Phil Constantine with Travels with Phil. This video is going to be about Shiprock and the Bisti De-Na-Zin Wilderness in New Mexico. And this is all up in the northwestern part of New Mexico. You can see Shiprock there. Now, this is a volcanic throat. The rest of the volcano eroded. Now, you can actually see it in this picture here, 13 miles away. Now, we do have some video here. Very nice aerial stuff here. This is kindly loaned to me by James Kimball. And you can see this is what's called a dike. This is where a section of lava came out from the volcano, spread out in a narrow crack, and the area around it on either side has eventually eroded away. Now, Shiprock itself goes about 1,500 feet up from the desert floor, and the peak is about 7,000, almost 200 feet up. You're looking at part of the main part of the mountain here, and then off on the right-hand side there, you can see a part of the rill or dike going off toward the south. In fact, we'll move over to that in just a second. Now, they believe, geologically speaking, that it's about 27 million years old, roughly. Now you're looking toward Shiprock here. Now this is on the east side, looking toward the west. That's the big, long dike, very, very narrow, and it goes for a couple of miles, seems like, and then running up to Shiprock here. And then looking at some of the surrounding territory out there, fairly flat area, except for right there around the mountain itself. And this is over by the Four Corners area, not too far from Arizona. Now, this is tribal land. It is all on the Navajo Reservation. And just after I left there in 2016, they made access to the area here off limits to people who weren't part of the tribe or without tribal approval. It used to be you could just drive right up there. And I guess it was about in the 1960s that they eliminated hiking up on top. Now, the other place we're going to go to is the Bisti De-Na-Zin Wilderness. Now, this is not too far from Chaco Canyon. Now, it is out in a remote area. Again, here's some aerials provided by James Kimball. And this is a very unusual spot out here. It's the Bisti means adobe formations, and the De-Na-Zin in Navajo, it roughly translates to standing crane, and there's some crane petroglyphs not too far from here. Now, most of these towers that you see here may be 20 to 40 feet high, so this is not massive. This is not Monument Valley. A lot of these are maybe 5 to 10 feet high, some of the spots that you see right here, and you can cover a lot of ground here. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you feel about these things, there are not hardly any signs once you get out in the wilderness area itself. So you're pretty much on your own trying to figure out where to go. So you should either have a map before you get there. They do have a map at one of the entrance areas, but it lists where some of the more well-known formations are, and a lot of people come up and say, oh, that looks like an alligator, or that looks like a swan, or those kinds of things. Now, this is one of the areas where it could be about 40, 50 feet deep, and you see that the harder rock on top protects the softer structure underneath it, and that's what leads to the erosion. That gives you an idea how big it is. That's my shadow there over on the left-hand side. And there are lots of little mesas out there, some worn-down areas, and that's where you see some of the most dramatic colors. But again, these are unusual formations. Sort of reminds me a little bit of Goblin Valley in Utah, but not exactly. Now, this right here looks like it could be massive, but again, it may be 50, 65 feet, something in that general vicinity out there. And as we move along to some of the other pictures out here, you'll see that, some of it's just, some bumps, some different colors. Some of it has the more distinct features. You can see, in some areas it's very flat, and then you just suddenly come right up on the spots where the erosion has really worked up into pretty high elevations, or higher elevations, or more distinct features. And here you can see that, it's a wide open area, and this is sort of backcountry in the Navajo Reservation. Now, you can easily get to the parking lot here on some state routes, and then you have to take a little bit of a dirt road. Now, it got rainy just as I was starting to leave, so that's one of the problems out there on dirt roads. You have to be very careful, and this is one of the maps they did provide. I appreciate your watching, and I appreciate it also. We're over on the right-hand side. Just click on the button here and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.